Hello coders, good morning. It's Tuesday morning. These things just happen so quick. Like, it was only Tuesday yesterday, wasn't it? We had a bank holiday Monday yesterday, so I wasn't doing any client work yesterday. I was, however, doing a ton of this stuff. Absolute ton of how to code well. Integrating Stripe into the system. And what I would like to do today is kind of regroup. It's kind of like I've done a lot of work that isn't on Jira, and I've got a lot of stuff in my head that isn't in Jira, and I would like to plan the sprints. Otherwise, I'm going to get into this sort of the similar pattern of just writing code and not actually planning the code. And thinking about it. Hey Tyranid, thank you for joining. Hope everything's going well. Let's sort the microphone out. Okay, so I was working on a different machine yesterday and Sunday and Saturday. So I'm pulling things together, making sure things run. Yeah, it was Christmas a few days ago. Basically Christmas again. Yeah. Okay. So where do we start? So this is the backlog, and I have this phase 1 sprint in here called Stripe integration. It only has 2 issues in here: create a webhook endpoint and create a message queue to hold events. There has been so much done over this stuff. The sprint we're in today, we're doing at the moment, is the hard coding of the featured courses, but I'm gonna try and put that on hold for a minute. This is, in my opinion, a bit of content stocking, and I'm more than happy to do that closer to the end. My head isn't there at the moment. My head is in Stripe land. So let me see. Let me grab the this stuff and make sure that it is doing what it should do. I need to do a Docker compose build because I've changed the not build, up-d. That's what I need to do. Up-d build of that, because I've changed some bits and pieces that need to be in the image. And I've done an npm install here. There was some things I needed to get, including the Stripe stuff, Stripe React elements. Cool. So once this builds, we should be able to run this. And I guess whilst we wait for this to happen, I'm going to just bung in some tasks out of my head. Okay, so these are tasks. Definitely MVP. MVP. Definitely front end. UI. And I'm going to create a new label now called Stripe. Or checkout. Or payment. I guess. Payment. I think. Yeah. Okay, so one thing I want to do is clear the selected package, and this will all make sense once I get to it. Clear the selected package from local storage after checkout, after at storage at thank you page. The selected package I think is called package, if I remember rightly, package selected, needs to be removed after checkout. Alright, and we'll assign it to myself, and I'll put it into Where is that Stripe integration jobby? Here we go. There. All right, cool. Are we done with this? We are. Docker ps-a. Let me see. What's this? That's down. What's that? API Stripe. That's fine, because that was something else I was playing with. And then this one is the portal, which is down. That's fine, because I can get that back up through local storage. API CMS, API. That seems good. So let's see if we can get the, I guess just to do a sense check, we can get the CMS up. Yeah, just as a sense check. Groovy. Let's see if we can get the this whole thing running. So this is the portal, npm. This is the front end. Run. We'll do it in dev mode. Make sure it's pulling back the tokens. Please pull back those tokens. Yes, sweet. Good. Cool. Right. So once that does its thing, we'll then go through the front end, and I'll walk you through the steps that I've done for Stripe. Okay. So back to the Jira. So clearing the selected package from local storage at thank you page. So this is the page after you've done checkout, right? So you've selected your package, you've put in your card details, it's all gone through, and then it goes to thank you. But we still need to have remove the selected package from local storage. Another thing is to show or display, I should say, display selected package during register. This should be on the left hand side, I think. Yeah, left hand side. So you have on the left, you have got the selected package. On the right, you've got the register form. Left hand side. I would like to have a feature where I can allow packages to be upgraded. So I want someone to be able to go, okay, we've got selected the free package, but actually I want to upgrade this. Allow packages to be upgraded and downgraded, right? So if someone wants to go for a monthly package and they want to do a free package, then so be it. Allow packages to be upgraded and downgraded. So this really is going to be like a package banner, right? Package banner. This should be a package banner. This should be a package banner on the left hand side. On the left hand side of the register form. Of the register form. Okay. Also, I kind of want this to be on the actual page where they are putting in the details, I think. Maybe, yeah. Where they're actually putting in the card details. So, during register, and then we'll do the same thing, but for display selected, display package, package details on the payment page. And this will make sense. Believe me, I'll go through the front end. This should be a package banner on the left hand side of the payment form. Allow packages to be downgraded, no upgraded. Yeah. So I think from here though it's going to be a bit different. I think they need to because this is obviously going to change the form. Because if they downgrade to a free package, then there's no need to put in the payment details, right? Because it's free. So I think this needs to redirect to pricing page. because that you got to think of the loop. So if they go, okay, I'm on a monthly package and I'm on the payment page, so I'm putting in my card details, and they go, actually, I want to do a free package, then the payment form needs to disappear. So the way I could get around that is by going back to the pricing page. So they choose that, and then that's fine, because that then takes them back into a different loop. I have a diagram that describes this journey, and it's a mental diagram. Anyway, okay, good. All right, we'll just let that hang for a minute. Let's see where we're at with this. Okay, excellent. It has been built. I don't think there's no errors. Wonderful. Good news. Good. Let's see if we can play with it. So let's bring that up. Good. So this is the front end, and this here is the featured courses that I was talking about before. So we're just going to hard code these in for the MVP, but enough of that. So what I've done is fingers crossed this works. Wonderful. Let's see if I can select that. Right, yeah. So I've selected that I want to go to here. Don't worry that this does say free package programming courses, because I need to deal with the copy. I know it doesn't look, it's pretty disjointed. I'm only worrying right now about the functionality rather than the way it looks, in the sense of, like, you know, why does this say free and I click on this and I go to the pricing? Yeah, it doesn't make sense. Yeah, definitely, Tyrannid. However, that does, I was thinking about this over the weekend, that does add extra complexity, because once you've got your card details, you've got the card details. There's no need to ask for those card details when they want to upgrade to another package, right? But not having card details, you've got to be kind of aware. And obviously, I am not storing card details myself. I'm integrating it with Stripe, which means that there needs to be another level of communication between the two to say, I'm on a free package, and I've been on a free package for the past 3 months, but now I want to upgrade. So I need to check with Stripe to see that I am a customer, but I don't have payment details. And then, yeah, so there's just another thing to it. But I totally agree, and I'm dead against having things like that. So anyway, yeah, so you choose a package. You choose a course, and it takes you to this pricing selection. So you can either do free, or you do monthly or yearly. I haven't decided on pricing, nor have I decided on I want an offer. So if you do yearly, I want some form of offer. I haven't decided at all what this looks like, the shape of this. So anyway, we select, say, monthly. This takes you to a sign-up page, which is the usual registration page. And let's say, what's the date today? It is May the 26th. So let's put in May 26 -01, because so May 26 -01, that's the test. And we'll save that for that, and we'll copy that into here. This is just a test account, and that's the username. Awesome. Groovy. So then we hit register, and it fails. Unhandled type form. Okay. Well, I guess I need to fix this. What's happened there? Okay, I think I'm gonna obviously have to fix this before I move on, which is a shame. Anonymous function, view compiled, throw catch cannot register. This is something probably to do with the back end, not wired up. Error console log. Is there anything in the console log? I reckon the back end isn't. There's something wrong with that. From us. Error name not resolved. Failed to load resource. Okay, let me see what the backend says. Let's bring another terminal window to the party, and let's go into the API and do make. Oops. Make. I can't spell it. Make log critical. Okay. No. What? Oh, hang on a minute. Wait. That should be tailing. No container found. Oh. Okay. Why has the container dropped? Oh, man. Oh, wait. I need to evaluate to the Docker machine. Make log critical. There we go. Now that's tailing. Right, so let's refresh this and do the things again. Anything in that log? No, that's weird. How peculiar. So this is the API. Can we do a Docker compose? Bear with me a minute. I know that now we've gone a little bit off piste now because I need to fix this. exec API bash tail -f var log devlog. What is there anything coming in here? Yeah. Oh, don't be silly. Right, register anything being touched in here. No. So this is a problem with name not resolved. Is this something to do with the... I think this is to do with... Yeah, bear with me a second. I'm going to just check the envs for this. Stage deployment. Have I not? Hang on. Let me refresh my memory because I don't think they're the right environment variables. This is the problem when you work on multiple machines and then you try and get things together. So what have I got on the portal here? Ba-da-ba-da-ba-da-ba. Okay, so let's have a look at that one, compare those. Yeah, that does look okay. API, yada yada yada. Ending in H, fine. Okay, confusion. I think what I'm going to do is nuke this. I think that's probably the best thing to do. Let me just get rid of those. So, yeah. I think I'm going to nuke them. So let's grab that it's this terminal, isn't it? So let's do an rm minus rf dot cache and then public. Bye. And then we're going to do a npm run dev again. I think it might have been I am hoping it was a caching issue. But that issue was on the register form, which is in. So I just want to see if there's anything fundamentally failing with that. I mean, this was working yesterday, perfectly fine. So, but on another machine. Typical, really. Has selected package is browser. Yeah, so this will check whether there's a package selected, and if it is a browser. If this doesn't work, I might have to just run this in build mode. Anyway, you can see all of the logs being moved here whilst we're doing all of the build. I must remember that whenever I do a build from a different machine, I must remember to remove the cache stuff. I might have to put that in. I'll put that in a script or somewhere. Right, let's try again. No, still a problem. Still a problem. Right. This is definitely the register. This is the register API call. So that is in. It's so frustrating. I really want to get this to run because then I can go through like almost an end-to-end, and then I can plan pages. No, it's in services. Sorry, API auth. Down in here, register. This is where we're at. Is it because that can't be found? Unresolved. Aha. Oh, yes. Gotcha. It's my configs. It's this that's ignored. Essentially this API config. Yeah, I understand what it is now. Bear with me a second whilst I fiddle about with that. Yeah, I know what's wrong with that. Okay, it just needs to have register underscore URL, and it goes to API auth register. Is that the only difference with that in that file? We've got another thing here, which is customer. And bear with me whilst I do this off stream remote. Customer, putting in secrets. Although to be honest, these things aren't actually that private. It's only really because I can manipulate this on different platforms. So this is /API /customer /payment. Okay, payment URL. Anything else? Systems in there. Body, client, IDs, secrets, grant types, auth URLs in there. Customer, payment, register URL. Yeah. So the problem there was that this thing here, the register URL, wasn't set. So I'm going to rebuild this again, just for clarity's sake, and then run it again. I'm so sorry, but I totally forgot to update that. Yeah, I was speaking to my wife yesterday about different processes of this and the different things that we can do after this is live, like all the ways that we can offer things like discount codes and trial runs and all of this stuff. So there's loads and loads, and I think that I want to try and keep it at the moment as simple as possible, in the sense of as easy to use, but with the potential for it to grow. So we're not going to do any discount codes in this sprint, in the MVP, but there certainly will be next. They got a ton of ideas of where we can take this, absolute ton, and some ideas also including Twitch and Discord as well, which will be very interesting to do and develop. But I mean, that's way off into the future, but some really interesting stuff. Anyway, here we go. Right, okay, back here again. So no, I want this user, and I want that email address, thank you, and I want this password. Now register. Right, now one thing I have to focus on definitely is having a way of it having some form of loading thing, right? So you know that I'm not really great with the visuals and stuff, in terms of like I'm not a web designer in that sense, so I've left that kind of magic to the end. So I'm going to be dealing with that stuff after the functionality is built, but I still need to put it through. So we're gonna put a Jira task in for this. So show either like an animation or something to just show that it is loading. So show loading message during registration. Message after when. Registration is processing. So at the moment, when you click submit or whatever it is, the nothing is telling the user that the Ajax is running. So so have some form of animation on the button etc. Okay, cool. So now we're at this point here where we've got the Stripe. Here we go, Stripe things, and the test card is 42. All the 42s, so just keep pressing 42, right to the end. So that's their test card. I'm on their test platform, like their sandbox. And if we hit submit, again, I need some form of indication that submit was done and something's actually happening. So some form of process. So we'll just wait for this to do its thing, and it does. So now we've subscribed. So it's a real sort of I wouldn't say flaky. It's very basic flow at the moment, but God, that took me ages to get around. So all the integration parts, all the stuff going on behind the scenes, registering a user on our system, registering a user on Stripe, dealing with the payment method, and then sending that up. And then subscribing to that package for a monthly. That's all done. So what I need to do, so this is the thank you page, and this is what I was saying about having to clear out the selected package option. So yeah, I want some form of display, a loading message when payment is being taken. some form of animation. Okay. All right, so now this dude's logged in and can now go to the courses and see the course, right? So there is that flow, but if we go through this again, so if we go back to courses and click on here, this is the the pricing. You got the free ones, and then you got the monthly and the yearly. So let's say I want to go Pro, right? But here on the right hand side, I want on the left hand side, sorry, I want the ability to have that option so you can downgrade and upgrade. I also just want to be aware of what package I have selected. So maybe shifting this to the right and then having the left hand thing here with your selected package, that kind of stuff, and then have the ability to either go back to the pricing page or to update it dynamically. So having like a left or right arrow or something, I don't know, I haven't decided yet. And then same with if I was to log in again, say with another user, so May 2602. At howtocodewell.net, and register that. Again, we have to wait. Right. Again, something here which shows that you can change the pricing. I don't want just a one-way street. So your selected package. I also need to have order total and summary and everything. Actually, let's put that in. So on payment page, show order total and summary. I have some on my tea. But of course, when they hit from this point, if they go and select the free tier, then there's no need to put this in. So this basically cancels out this step. So they've already registered at this point, and they go back to the pricing page, and then they hit free. This is going to take them. Whoa. Okay, that obviously needs to be fixed. Yeah. Let me just double check the Stripe backend a minute. Maybe that's a happy accident. I'm just logging into Stripe. Bear with me a second. So if we go to dashboard, because there is a way of seeing all the customers for the test data. And if May 2602 is in there, so if we go to, where are we? View test data, that'd be good. Customers. May 2601's in there, not 02. So I do need some form of, when you hit the pricing, I need something to go, well, this is free. What we'll do is we'll register with Stripe as a customer, but without a payment method. I think that's possible. And also, there's another thing as well. Once I'm logged in, is there a need to go back to the pricing page? The wording here needs to be different, because this should be aware of what one you're on, and display the one you're on. And if you're on, say, monthly, then allow for the upgrade. So instead of Go Pro, have some form of upgrade to yearly or downgrade to free, that kind of thing. Yeah. So there's a bit of adjustment here. Let me put that in. On payment show order. Yeah, let me just create that. So let me go through the flow again. So I've just signed up I've just registered to How to Code Well, but because I got out of the payment flow, we haven't actually sent our credentials up to Stripe. Now, if I was to click on monthly, that's going to go straight to the dashboard, which is wrong, because this should now take me to an upgrade path. Yeah, so there's a couple of things that I need to note down here. So first up, free users should no, pricing should change. Pricing page should change to upgrade. Should allow for package upgrades for existing users, right? So, yeah. Now, there's a couple of issues here. One, I need to check whether or not there is a payment method against this. Now, I've got a flag in the database in the back end to say that whether or not this has actually been, that it has actually gone up to Stripe. So there's that. Yeah. Ralex, thank you very much for the offer. That's really kind of you. Thanks. Been working on the Stripe API for 2 years. If you feel stuck with anything, feel free to PM me. Oh, brilliant. Thank you very much. That's very kind of you. Yeah, I'm just kind of like bundling my way through it at the moment. I was learning lots and lots and lots, reading lots of documentation over the weekend, writing a load of code, having that code fail. But now I'm at a position where I can actually see the customers in the back end with their subscriptions and their pricing plans set up. I think the thing that I'm going to struggle with is the webhooks. I've kind of left that to another sprint. I was hoping to get that done last weekend, but I just couldn't. There's just so much involved with this, and it was surprising at how much. Well, it wasn't surprising at how much was involved. I think I just underestimated it, like I do usually. Yeah. Tyranids saying everything seems to have a strange alignment in the pricing boxes. You mean inside? How do you mean, like a left align, right align? I'm blind to this because I've been looking at this for so long. So this is why I want to give it to a designer who's not used this ever before. Yeah, it looks like the title is on the right. Okay, so not centered correctly. So free over here. Okay. Centered but a bit on the right. Okay. P10. It might be because there isn't enough space for all of them to go in, but looking at the margins seem to be okay. I think it's the description. Okay. So this stuff. Ah, can you see that? That's a good spot there. It's got more margin on the left there. It's either margin or padding. I'm not sure which one. On the ULs. So on the left-hand side, it's pushing it out. So yeah, here. So if I did that, yeah, you're right, because the L is not lined up to the F. So let's... Why is that? Hang on a minute. And that. There we go. And that. There we go. That's better. Yeah, good spot there. Yeah. Let's see if I can sort that out. Thank you for spotting that. See, I'm totally blind to this. Because I've been looking at it for so long. I'm just like, yeah, it looks all right. You know, looks how it did last month. So what did I do there? It was the lists.css, padding left and margin left of this. Is there a particular... Can I do this specifically on the ULs? Let's see if we can sort this out. It would be nice to actually write a bit of code today, right? So where would that be? That would be in pages, in pricing. And it will be these ULs. So it was the removal of the UL padding. I wonder if I can just do this in Tailwind by just doing PL0 and ML0. Let's just see. Yeah, that's sorted. And is it sort? But it obviously won't be on this one, right? So let's just double check. No. Cool. So that's got a left padding. You can see it in the output. But this one, if I hover over the ULs, which is up here, yeah, it's fine. Okay, good. So that was the fix. So let's just grab that and paste it into there and there. Okay, let's save that, refresh the page. Hopefully they should all... Yes, they've all come back into line. Good. Well, at least we did some coding today, right? Oh, good stuff. Good stuff. Okay, so I'll commit that in. Fixing margins. Anything like that on the stream, just shout. I know that this isn't a work of art, but cool. So I'm logged in. I'm registered on How to Code Well, but I'm not on Stripe. And therefore the assumption is that I'm a free user. However, I think I still need to send that information off to Stripe. I guess I have a question with Stripe, and that is, can I create a customer in Stripe that has a free user that doesn't have a payment method, or do I need to have a payment method for every customer? That's essentially my question. So can I create a customer without a payment method? That's kind of my question, and I suppose I should write that down in Jira. Pricing pages should allow for... Okay, let me just get rid of that for a minute. So create Stripe customer for free user. So this is a Stripe only manually. When you say manually, Rylex, how can you give me a little bit more as to what that means? Do I need to go into the dashboard and make them, or is there an API call? Because there's a call to create. I'm sure there's a call to create the customer, right? So there's an API controller. I've created a bridge for this. So if we go over to create Stripe plans, yada yada yada, create here. That's the subscription bridge. Here we go, create the customer. So we pass in the email and the payment. So it needs the payment method. Darn it. Yeah, that's annoying. Whoops. That sucks. So instead of a payment form, you create a custom form and call. You create a custom form and call API to Stripe. Hang on. Give me a second. Let me find this. Stripe. Create customer. Okay, so we've got payment method is optional. Okay, it is optional. The ID of the payment method to attach to the customer. So yeah, this is optional. So I can create customers without payment methods. Huh. Okay. After creating a customer, you do items plan. Pay annual. So yes. Yeah, what I was doing with my API was I was creating the payment method as well as at the same time. So with Stripe Elements, it returns you the payment method, and then it pushes that up to here. But actually, I need to do something a little bit. At a different stage, don't I? So instead of actually creating the user when the payment is taken, so at the point where I put in the card information is the point in which the customer was being created. But actually I need to do it a step back, so the customer is created as soon as they register. So register on my system on Housecode, well, it creates a user on their system that doesn't have a payment method, and then we're doing an update. Yeah, so I've got a problem with my flow. Okay, so what do I need to do for that in a technical sense? I need to create an API or update API customer, create API endpoint to allow for optional payment methods. So this thing here, this API customer, this thing, Jobby, that should be optional. If we have it, that's great. If we don't, we don't. This will allow for free users to be created. And then what I need to do is when the payment when the card has been captured, I then need to update the user that was created on Stripe with the card details. Because that process will only happen with users that aren't free. Okay, so create customer payment method API endpoint. So this is then going to send up the payment method that was captured via Stripe Elements, which is on the front end, to my to the backend, to my backend, and then that is going to send an API off to Stripe with the customer details that are captured already in my database with the payment method that was captured from Stripe elements from the front end. Push that up. Yeah. Okay. So on payment on card. So yeah, there's like a load of stuff, visual stuff that I need to do, and then there's a load of like little intricate things that I need to do in the background. On card, create on card. When the user, after the user creates a payment method via Stripe elements, send this up to the payment method API to update the Stripe customer. So front end, capture payment, capture payment method, and then send API, send to HTCW API, then that sends to updates Stripe customer. Yeah. After create, yeah. Oh man, so much to do. It's insane. This part of this project. I do feel though that because I've managed to get like the basic fundamental process done, I suppose I could call it that. I feel a little bit more comfortable with it. When it came to Friday, and I started to look at this Friday evening, because I was trying to plan what I wanted to do over the bank holiday, this just felt like a massive black box of stuff that I just didn't have a clue about. But I'm starting to feel a little bit more easy with it. Total journey of discovery, this. Okay, let's just go over the Jira tasks and just see where we're at with all this. So there's now 10 issues in this. So create a webhook endpoint. So this is going to, when a subscription is updated, when a payment is taken in the future, then I need to have a webhook to manage that. That in itself is going to probably be 10, 15 tasks, to be honest. So I've just put that in there just to remind myself. Create a message queue to hold events. I'm not sure if that needs to happen yet. I don't really think it does at this present second. Okay, clear the selected package from local storage at thank you page. Yes. Display selected package during register. Display package details. That should be display selected package during display package details during on the payment page. Call show loading message when registration is processing. Display loading message when payment is being taken. On payment page, show order and total and summary. Yes, that's very important. Update customer, create API endpoint for optional payment methods. Yep. And then create customer payment method API endpoint. Now there's going to be a ton more. How does it, let's log out. How does it handle, like problems with the cards and stuff like that. So let's go to, because that's super important. Whoops. Let's do May. Oh no, I'm logging in. That's not what I want to do.
Hello, coders.
Hey, Winterflame. Awesome, all my emojis are firing off. Thank you very much for following. That's super cool. You've made an emoji tsunami. Brilliant. Hope you're doing well. Right, yeah, so what happens if we submit and then, okay, good. So I have got that in play. Okay, so your card is incomplete, and can I just do a bunch of crazy stuff? Alright, so there's front-end validation here, which is fine, but still there needs to be back-end validation, right? I'm not sure how to simulate that, but we definitely need to put that down as a task. So capture the fact that there's a failure. Okay, so let me just get my labels wired up. So this is front end. This is Stripe. Is it pay, or did I call it payment? Payment, yeah. This is UI. This is going to be API, because I will probably need to change the API for this to work. And it's definitely MVP. So this is handle server errors, not server errors, handle backend. No, cards. Handle card errors. Payment errors. Handle payment errors. Errors from the captured at the back end. So some sort of thing like, as we were just seeing here, something to say, payment could not be taken or something like that. Please try again. Your card details are incorrect. For the back end, could you just use Talk Visa for testing? Yeah, I guess I could. Yeah, haven't really thought that far ahead, but yeah, that would be. Yeah, I'll put in a task for that. This is PHP. This isn't Java. This is JavaScript. JavaScript, PHP, CSS, all the web development lovelies. Right, where's that Jira task? Here we go. Handle payment errors captured at the back end. So yeah, so this should display an error. I must admit, I haven't done Talk Visa before, Ilex. So I will put in a task for Talk Visa, but I will have to go and spend a good day or so looking at that. And for the front end, you can use some testing numbers. Yes, you can, definitely. So 42, all that jazz. They're the ones that work. Is there ones that throw errors? This is more for back-end validation, though, isn't it? This isn't really for. Hang on a minute. Let me take a step back and think about this. You've made a really good point there. Yeah, so there's definitely declined. What I really need to do is I really need to write an acceptance test for these things, so they're actually being thrown at the front end in a sort of a semi-built state, in a semi-production state. Okay, so this should display an error on the front end. When a card is declined, because at the moment it's not. Because you take the payment from the server on the server end, not the front end, or at least I am anyway. Each number has its own token to be used in backend. Oh, hang on, did I just put that in a different sprint? Yeah, I have. I put that in the backlog. Let's move that into move to Stripe integration. Each nice. Thank you, Wind of Flame. That's awesome. Awesome that you found me there. You program in Java. Awesome. Cool. Each number has its own token to be used in the back. Yeah. Okay, so yeah, you that's it. You said talk visa. Let me just grab that from the chat and put this in here. So use. Hang on, let me just go back to the chat. Use talk visa for backend testing, payment testing, backend payment testing. I'm going to have to look at that and see what is involved with that payment testing. Apologies for my naivety here. Payment. It is MVP. It is probably going to be API. Probably going to be front end as well, and UI. And I'm also going to have another label in here called investigation, because I need to look into that. This requires some research, and also put this into there. Let me just do a quick Google. Okay, I'm trying to get Stripe going, and I'm almost there, but there is one confusing thing. The source TOC Visa part, it looks like it can be TOC MasterCard, TOC bank account, and so forth. Okay. The problem is, how am I supposed to know which one to use? The docs say to obtained with Stripe.js, which is cool, but I cannot find exactly where this comes from. Can anyone explain? Okay. Stripe customers create email and then the source. Stripe charges create amount. Scroll. Your code is fetching the token using require body token, which means that you have already implemented the logic to tokenize the client side. Okay. Once the customer is created, you can create a charge by simply passing the customer ID in the customer parameter of the create charge API. So I do not need the at all. Not if you charge the default source on the customer, which is the case. So, am I more up to speed with what this means? No, I'm not. Create destination charges on your platform. Testing Stripe payments. I suppose this is a good one to go to. Learn about different methods to test your integration before going live. Yeah, so this is the card that I put in, 42, 42, 42, all that jazz. The payment intent is created with the key to avoid numerous. Okay, good. Charges API. When charges API, the Stripe client, libraries, and SDK ensure that card element is passed correctly to create a token on your submit fine server-side code. In your server-side code, ensure that all requests are being made successfully. You may find it useful to view your account's events and logs as you test your integration. Yeah. All API errors are handled properly. Relevant webhooks are handled correctly. Okay, so yeah, we will be dealing with webhooks at some point. Here's the card numbers. So this is the 42 jobbies and any future digits. Right, so these are the card numbers. These then, these, here we go. So these are the brands. So TOC Visa, Visa Debit, MasterCard. I see now, this makes sense. Gotcha. Okay. Okay, each card billing country is set to the US. If you need to create card payments using cards for other countries, use the international test cards. Can I have a look at that? Because that would be nice to play with. So I'm going down a rabbit hole now. International test cards. So Brazil, Canada, Mexico. 3D secure cards. So there's loads here. Great stuff. Okay, international card types, regulatory, 3D secure test cards. Testing for specific responses and errors. This is what I want to deal with. The following test cards can be used to create payments that produce specific responses. Useful for testing different scenarios and error codes. Wonderful. Verification checks only run when required. Information is provided, e.g. CVC check to be set to fail and so forth. Okay, so that is the number. The charge succeeds and funds will be added directly to the available balance, bypassing a pending balance. Charge succeeds, address line 1 and zip code verifications fail. Charge succeeds, but the address line 1 verification fails. So this is interesting because I'm not sure, and I need to have a look in the legal stuff for this, whether or not I need to be actually taking addresses, because I don't need them. How to Code Well doesn't need your address, but I don't know whether I need your address for a digital purchase, because essentially that's what it is. It's a subscription. So I'm not sure whether I need that address. If it means that there's more validation that I can do, then I think that's a good thing. But obviously there needs to be some documentation or something that I need to go through just to double check here. Yes, gotcha, Rilex. Yeah, biggest pain for me was implementing 3D Secure because in my backend was basically an API for Next. Each number has its own token to be used. Yeah, I got that now. Feeling a bit daft now as I put in the whole Jira task for it, but yeah, I get it. I think what I need to do is, it's still a research task. I'm going to put this down. I'm going to change that here. I'm going to change this to be implement, and this is going to be like a massive placeholder task. Implement payment tests. Implement different payment tests, and then in the description, this requires some research there, and create acceptance tests to run through the various payment scenarios. Can I just see how have they worded that? Various responses and errors, payment responses and errors. Yeah. The various payment responses. Now, this is a massive task, responsive, so we'll probably, when we get to it, we'll need to break this up, but I need to capture this. So, there is breadcrumbs. Sweet. Not breadcrumbs, anchor points, so I can put in an anchor point in here. There we go. Save. Sweet. I want to just continue reading this for a minute. So charges succeed, but refunding a captured charge card. If a CSV is provided, the CSV check fails if your account is blocking payments. Yeah. So there's loads of scenarios, some of which I don't think will all be related to what I need to do, but things like this stuff, is declined with an expired card code, incorrect CVC code, processing error. All of these things I need to handle, and I think what I need to do is create. It would be lovely if I was able to create some sort of Selenium-based Cucumber thing that says, given card with this, ensure that an error is thrown. That kind of thing. Written in Gherkin language. That would be lovely. What's the time? 8:19. Right, I'm going to have to wrap this up in about 10 minutes. I have a huge meeting today. Today is full of meetings. Nothing to do with this. Not at all. Right, so this is a really good, interesting piece. Testing specific errors. What's about this 3D secure stuff that Rylex is mentioning here? So the following card information tests payments affected by regional regulations such as strong customer authentication, which is SCA. Yes, the more I look into Stripe, the more I keep seeing that. Use it to test saving cards with setup intents. Setup intents. I'm not sure if I don't know. Maybe I need to look into that. This card requires authentication for one-time payments. However, if you set up this card and use your saved card subsequent off-session payments, no further authentication is needed in live mode. Stripe dynamically. I'm not sure. This card requires authentication on all transactions, regardless of how. Okay, this card requires insufficient. Oh gosh, this is heavy stuff. This card requires authentication for one time and no other one-off payments. However, all off-session payments will succeed as if the card has previously been set up. This card requires authentication on all transactions regardless of how you set it up. You only need 3D secure authentication must be completed for the payment to be successful. Okay, I need to look into this big time. Not all cards support 3D secure or require the customer to be redirected to their card's issue authentication page. Use the following information to test 3D secure payments. Oh, right. Let's I didn't want to do that. I just want to copy that link. Yikes. Okay, so I need to create another task in here to just look at that. So Yeah, most Rilex is saying most EU cards now can't be billed intermittent. Is that intermittently? Yeah, it needs an extra step to go through immediately. Sorry, it needs an extra step to go through. More so painful with subscriptions. Yes, because you need some email hook to cause the customer is not even present on the website. Yes. Yeah. Yeah, so the webhook thing is, I'm glad I'm not rushing into this, the webhook stuff. I think, there needs to be a lot of groundwork done first before I get into this. But essentially, with the webhook stuff, I need to basically turn on some switches on the database on my thing, because there's going to be payments being taken in the background, or payments being attempted to be taken in the background, which means that depending on their status, the user will not be able to access various bits and pieces. And as Rilex has mentioned, that because there needs to go through an extra step for this to happen, it's not always an automated process. There's in some cases there needs to be the human factor involved in this. As Rilex has mentioned, there needs to be some hooks into emails and various bits and pieces. So it opens up that whole avenue. And I haven't yet dealt with any emails from this website. Yikes. Gosh, this is just a rabbit hole of stuff. Payment. It is investigation. It is MVP. So this is to test 3D secure payments. Okay. Implement tests for 3D secure payments. And I guess what we should do is also have this as testing as well, because it is testing tests. I just think this is going to be just a lot of pain. A lot of pain. But it needs to happen, right? It needs to happen. All right, let's create that issue. So there's going to be a lot of investigation work here. Whoa, wrong thing, backlog. Yep. Test 3D secure payments. Yeah, no, that's fine. Hang on a minute, is that one I've already done? Wrong tutorial display order shown after saving tutorial list. Oh, no, it's not. No, it's not. Okay. Whew. Okay. Yep. This is huge. Tokens. Payment methods. Okay. Anything else? Rate limits. What's this? It is extremely unlikely for users to experience any rate limits with normal usage of the API, even at high volume. The most common cause for a user to experience rate limits are bugs, bulk data fetches, or extreme load testing. Should your requests begin to receive a 429, reduce the frequency of your requests. Each failed request is perfectly safe to retry, as the rate limit takes place before any other action and prevents the request from being processed. So this thing here saying it is extremely unlikely for users to experience any rate limits, right? I mean, doesn't really follow me. And then here it says even at the high volume, doesn't really fill me full of confidence. Essentially what I'm doing is relying on another service to deal with payments, which is fantastic. But this here is a bit of a concern that there is, I mean, obviously there's going to be rate limits, obviously, definitely, regardless of what service you use. But I can imagine this being something that is going to catch me out, and it's going to catch me out at the worst possible time. It's something that I probably should just cover at the MVP, just so I've got it in the framework. Should your requests begin to receive 429 HTTP errors, reduce the frequency of your requests. And this to me feels a little bit like I need a queue. Each failed request is perfectly safe to retry, as rate limiting takes place before any other action and prevents your request from being processed. When reducing your request frequency, we recommend an exponential back-off by first waiting 1 second before trying again, and then 2 seconds, and then 3 seconds, and so forth. If your request continues to receive the same response, wait 2 seconds, then 4 seconds, and so forth. The rate limit in the test mode is lower than the one in live mode, of course. If you're experiencing rate limits but are unable to determine why, please let us know. Yeah, so maybe I need to put in some sort of wrapper which wraps these API calls up with a check for 529 errors, and then does this back off. The following information when tested payment. Okay, that's sources. I don't need that. Just reading the chat here. Right, saying Lightly Stripe API and dashboard is easiest and best documented API I've ever worked with compared to PayPal. PayPal, yes. Yeah. PayPal seems to change depending on what you do. It's completely different and it contradicts itself. So, yeah, I've lost a lot of hair, as you can probably tell by dealing with PayPal stuff previously. I've also used things like WorldPay, SagePay, Braintree, those things as well, but Stripe is fairly new to me, at least, which is why I'm baby steps and all that stuff. So much deprecated stuff. Yeah, definitely some stuff is totally off place. Yeah, definitely. You end up going down a rabbit hole, and then you realize that this rabbit hole should have been buried a long time ago. And you've just wasted days setting something up which doesn't need to. I mean, I was dealing with something a while back to do with donations on PayPal for one of my clients, and it was just nuts. It was just like crazy. Depending on which part of the documentation you were reading, you were doing something completely different. PTSD. Okay, I think what I'm going to do is I think I need to shoot off now, because I need to crack on with the rest of the freelance day and draw a line under this thing. But we've come up with some really meaty tasks here, which I'm happy with. Apologies for not getting to all the code today. There's a lot of planning involved in this project. So, have a wonderful day, everybody. Happy coding, everybody. And I will see you again Thursday evening. Take care. Cheers. Bye-bye.